Hey plebs, welcome to the respawn point.
Welcome to your 10th respawn. We know Monday's your least favorite day, so we're here to get you back into the game and week.
Respawn Mondays is a show all about some of our favorite games, including PUBG, Battlefront, Overwatch, and Ark. With a changing list as we continue to pick up and drop different games, we are just your average gamers trying to get through the work week with some sweet relaxation playing time. So before you respawn back into the week, take a breather and let's catch you up.
Today we'll be covering Battlefront 2's soft launch with the early play trial, and we're your hosts, Elias Christensen and Nick Berry.
So Elias, how's your Monday been?
It's been pretty good. It's basically a Monday off. So I played some Kingdom Hearts and I played some Battlefront and chilled. Got ready for the show. And we're still like 15 minutes late. First time we've been late, I think.
Yeah, probably since like the very beginning.
Yeah, since like the first time we did it, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my
How's your Monday been?
Yeah, normal work again, but I was working up in far end of the state, and it was snowing.
Oh wow!
Like literally half the day.
Really?
Like it was pretty heavy at some points.
Oh, we had some sleet here like midday.
Okay, yeah, see, it was snow for us. Yeah, so first snow of the season. So it obviously wasn't sticking because it wasn't that cold.
It's not that cold yet.
Yeah, so we were on the job and it was snowing and everything got wet and
that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, normal Monday. I worked like 10 hours today though, so.
Dang.
Yeah.
Counting drives or no?
Not counting driving time. Well,
dude,
in the afternoon, yes, but not in the morning. I left at like 6:30, and then I got home at 5:30. So
commutes kill it for me. People say like, "Oh, you work an 8-hour day," and like a lot of times, no, people work longer than that. You work you work like 9 hours, 10 hours, like depending on what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. So, but all right, enough about us. What have you been playing this week?
Enough about us, more about us.
Yeah.
I've been playing, like I said, Kingdom Hearts. I've been replaying through it. It's one of my favorite games, probably. I'm gonna say, obviously they stepped up gameplay and everything else in number 2. Like, number 2, they just like perfected all the things they got wrong, but the storyline in number 1 is solid. So, playing through Kingdom Hearts on my stream. Nobody's stopping by compared to other games that I play, but that's fine because I want to play it anyway. So. And pretty much no one streams it because it's a 10-year-old game. I'm just going to play through all of them, maybe do one a month or something, and just to get ready for 3's launch.
Cool. Awesome.
Other than that, a little Overwatch, a little PUBG, but just like a couple games.
Cool games.
What about you?
Okay, so obviously this episode is about Battlefront, so obviously we played that. But before we talk about Battlefront, I played PUBG, like always, but this week's different.
Why is that?
I finally got my chicken dinner. Finally won a game.
Nice.
And props, shout out to Ethan. He helped me. We were duoing, and probably we didn't have the strongest start. I would say I forgot exactly where we landed. However, we had really bad loot. Mm-hmm. Like we got some.
You got rifles.
We got rifles, but like we had like minimal ammo.
You had a red dot on.
I had a red dot. Yep. We had no like far scopes. Our med supply was very low. Mm-hmm. We had like maybe one first aid each. We had a bunch of bandages. So what happened was I forget everything. I have it recorded though, so I can look back when I want to. But I got down twice in this game. I don't think Ethan did once. But so we only had like one first aid each, and so I had to use bandages to get back up to full health like both those times.
Wow.
And so the second time was like when there's only like 6 people left, and the guy hit me with a car, and I got knocked out. And I thought, typical. This is how it ends.
Game over.
So Ethan brought me back up. We had some nice cover behind like a hill. But so he got me back up, and then I was able to use some bandages. I think I might have had like a 1 boost. But so we were near Sunken City and like ruins, and so we went into I remember. We were taking a car and we were gonna try to cross the bridge into Sunken City and closer to that area, and Ethan actually crashed the car into the lake, or the river, I mean.
Yeah.
And so we ended up having to swim all the way right to where Sunken City is, because it's right in the water, obviously. And so we had to climb up. Ethan took out a couple guys near the edge of the zone, so our back was covered. And then we kind of edged our way. And then there was 5 of us left, 4 or 5, and we had prime position in like a big like circle of the ruins part. And so, long story short, there was 3 of us, and I saw the last guy, and I took him out, and we won, and it felt really good. After playing for however many hours.
Yeah, how many games do you have? Did you check?
I didn't check. I would. It's safe to say I have like at least 200 across all the solo, duo, and squad. So,
I mean, if you get a couple wins in the next couple days, you're on average.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I think my win percentage, because I won one, is like 2% maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Maybe it's 1. I don't remember, but it's a percentage now.
Average players, like, you don't win all the time.
No.
And you know what I noticed, what you were saying, and what I've come to like appreciate about PUBG is, like, it doesn't matter what you get. Like, as long as you get a rifle and you just
was the thing.
Once you get down to where you're down to a quarter of the size of the map, basically,
yeah,
you would be surprised how many people are very close to you.
Yeah.
And it comes down to you just being aware and, like, choosing your time and taking them out.
Yep. So I had the M4. I'm glad to say I won with that because that's my favorite weapon. Now I feel good about it. But yeah, no, I had like maybe towards the end I had maybe like 30 bullets left because I ended up getting 4 kills. I think Ethan had 2. So it's not
that's a little stressful being low on ammo.
Yeah. Like, so, but it wasn't like we did nothing all game and then we got the last person. Which, I mean, hey, a win is a win. But we were semi-active. We got a few kills. So that was cool.
Yeah. Hey, hey, Higgsy in the chat. What's up?
Shout out to a Higgsy. He's our #1 fan right now.
For real.
So want to show you our appreciation, especially out on Twitter and everything.
Yeah.
But then obviously Battlefront, as we'll go into, I played 7 out of the 10 hours of the trial.
Sweet.
So what we wanted to do was we're gonna go over some Battlefront 2 news, and we'll transition that into our discussion, and then we'll go back to some miscellaneous news about other games.
All right.
So, if you haven't been on the internet lately, then you don't know what's going on the Reddit. But if you are on the internet, which most of us are, you know what has happened in the Battlefront 2 community. And as of the last time I checked, was right before the show, EA responded to all of the hate and backlash to heroes, namely Darth Vader and Luke, along with some others, being locked behind really, really tall credit walls in the game. And so a lot of backlash. And so EA, the community team on Reddit, they responded to a post on Reddit, and it broke the record for the most downvotes on Reddit. Out of any comment or post. And like I said, as the last time I checked...
Wait, is that real?
Yeah.
That's double what I saw it at earlier today.
Yeah. So it's at... These are downvotes. So 479,437 downvotes.
And if you know how downvotes work on Reddit, that is a sum of the positive votes too.
That's true. I don't think there's many.
I don't think...
Besides mine, I actually
I don't
uploaded
think there's any.
Well,
You know what's crazy is it was a reasonable response.
It was a reasonable response.
It said, "Hey, thanks for your info. We're gonna keep trying to change things." Yeah, it was like it was a developer being active in their own subreddit, which is not all that common.
Not with EA.
It's completely uncommon for EA, and people just obliterated it.
Yeah, it was funny because I saw that comment when it was at around 3,000 downvotes, and I'm like, this response isn't bad. I'm gonna give it an upvote.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, the only person who probably upvoted it.
I think once you hear, it's Reddit's most downvoted comment,
people are just joining
probably a
in
lot
to
of people
download it.
jumped on the bandwagon. They're like, let's make sure it stands as the most downvoted comment of all time.
This is in one day, pretty much. Literally last night I checked, and it was at like the 3,000 because that's when it was made.
You know what's nice about, I mean, from a Redditor's perspective, that comment to downvote is it's not going to get removed. It doesn't break any terms of service, which is typically, that's the type of post that's going to get downvoted, something that's...
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Reddit is a little off the wall sometimes anyway, but if a post really goes over the line and is racist or, you know, something very offensive, it will get removed.
Right.
So the most downvoted comment of all time probably has to be inane to reach that status.
It was, okay, so before this, the most downvoted comment was someone telling people to downvote him to see how high he could get it. But it was only like 25,000.
Dang. Yeah.
This has like 2,000%ed it.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, it's funny that I believe, it's been a long time since I checked, the most upvoted comment in Reddit history, I think the most upvoted post at one point was the Jar Jar Binks theory.
Oh, really?
About him being a Sith Lord. And then I think after that they beat it with a picture of Palpatine just titled the Senate, so that when people Google Senate, like looking for their local senator to go vote on an issue,
It's Palpatine.
Palpatine comes up. So Star Wars has a very loyal following on whatchamacallit. And then Higgsy, we didn't answer your question. I don't know what your question was.
He tweeted us. And
okay.
I added it towards a new section that we are going to put at the end.
Cool.
So we're going to answer your question at the end. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, last week. Yep. So we got a nice community question towards our way, so we're gonna answer that later on. But the latest news for Battlefront 2 is that EA posted an article probably only a few hours ago addressing the hero unlock system, and they have reduced the cost to unlock heroes by 75%. So Luke and Vader were 60,000 credits, and now they're 15,000. And then I think like Chewbacca, Leia, Palpatine, they're all 10,000, and then I think Iden Versio is 5,000 because So yeah, it's good that they came out and did a blog post and addressed the issue. Reddit hasn't lightened up though. They're like, good, this is what we wanted, but we still hate you.
It's crazy because it's probably the most accommodating I've ever seen EA be.
They have never been this communicative
Mm-hmm.
and like also being like, okay, like you asked for this, here you go.
Yeah, I've never seen EA do that before, and they already had that attitude even before the downvotes. I felt like they said, okay,
Right.
we'll work on changing some stuff. That's what the comment was.
I think at this point EA has such a bad reputation that people are just like,
yeah,
they're not
just letting them have it. You're dealing with Star Wars. You're dealing with a passionate fan base. Like,
yeah. And then the other thing, the article they bring out is that they're actually going to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything, over on Reddit on Wednesday, which is like, when has EA ever done that? Like, that's huge.
It's funny. I saw somebody post. I forget who posted it on Twitter. Somebody posted like, prayers and thoughts for those developers that are going to jump in that AMA.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And you know the reason that I saw it is because Wildcard devs retweeted it. The Arc team was retweeting it.
Well, that's hilarious.
Because they get so much stuff all the time.
Right.
Like, they know exactly what they're going through.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. We'll probably go over that at some point. You said on Wednesday?
Yep, Wednesday.
We could do a brief synopsis of that on Friday. What were we thinking about?
Yep, so we'll announce it now. We're going to do a special show on Friday for you who want to watch it, because as you know, we've been talking about we're going to do a launch party for Battlefront, and we're going to have all the guys over in the studio. And so we're going to do a special little episode where we have everyone on, and they're going to give their 2 cents for what they think of Battlefront 2. And then for listeners, we'll probably post that on the following week on a Monday or Tuesday like we normally do. But so that'll be a fun little thing we can do with our friends, and they can give their opinions on it and get some people who aren't as close to the news and everything as we are. So it'll be good.
Cool.
But before we move on to our impressions of Battlefront 2, and we'll go into what we think about the loot crate system and all that. I know we got some comments already about it. But so the last piece of news is that they also already announced the Last Jedi season that we're getting, which we already have known about, but they kind of detailed it a little bit more. And this kind of highlights or overviews, I think, how we'll see seasons moving forward. Because obviously, as we know, DLC is going to be free for this game moving forward, and there's going to be seasons instead of like DLC packs.
Yeah.
So this Last Jedi season starts on December 5th, and you begin by picking either the light or dark side. You pick a First Order or Resistance, and your choice is important because it will allow you to take part in special faction challenges, and that will grant your faction rewards. So I think it's cool. I think it's a nice community little interaction.
Yeah, the other multiplayer games have tried this out. League of Legends, you had there's been a couple things where you pick sides, and I think it brings people together, gets you involved in the lore, especially for a multiplayer game you don't necessarily know the lore about. Something you do know the lore about, I'm sure you're even going to be
right,
more pumped for
especially with Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be cool. I think a lot of people are going to go with First Order. I'm probably going to pick Resistance because I'm all for the light side.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but what's important is that it starts on December 5th. The next thing is that Finn and Phasma, the two new characters that we know about, are coming out on the 13th, which is right before the movie, and they'll come along with a planet crate, and also a new space map, and then also an extra single player mission, which is kind of cool. They're actually going to add on to the single player.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But what's cool is that the week that they come out, whoever wins the faction challenge for that week will actually get a special loot crate that's designed around that character. So say First Order wins that challenge, everyone on the First Order faction will get a special loot crate that will probably give, I would imagine, like an epic card for Phasma or something along those lines. Which
that's
again
cool.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But on top of that, there's also going to be, within the season, every week there's going to be weekly challenges, daily challenges, and then weekend challenges, along with a highlighted game mode on Sunday, which I'm not exactly sure what that means, but like, for example, the first weekend is Blast Sunday, and then the next one's like Galactic Assault Sunday, so I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it'll be something cool where you get extra XP if you play in that game mode on that day.
That could be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. So it's very...
If anything, you're going to get more people in that queue, so possibly less wait time. Especially for lesser played game modes that tend to get left behind. That'll be nice.
Yeah. So it is a very cool thing that I think will keep the community playing, especially on PC. Hopefully, this game lasts a lot longer than the first one did. So I think the way these seasons are going to be working, I think will help that. And then, again, it starts on December 5th, so you have to imagine maybe Season 2 starts in the beginning of January.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. So every month will be a new season. There'll be new challenges. There'll be new content, which is really promising. And then I think the last thing was that the final week of the Last Jedi season, there'll be a special holiday playlist. We're not exactly sure what that is, but maybe a special playlist with different game modes or something along those lines for the holiday season.
Like all Hoth, all day.
Maybe. Maybe because of snow.
Yeah.
Or maybe Hoth and Starkiller Base.
Yeah.
So it's definitely interesting stuff. So, and we'll talk about this as we go into our impressions too. But I kind of feel, in light of everything that we talked about with the Reddit and everything, I don't feel bad for EA, but at the same time, like I feel like, especially DICE, like I know like the DICE developers like put in so much work into this game, and to get so much hate and backlash, I do feel bad for them because everything they've done so far seems to be in the right direction. And playing the game, it's a really fun game. So obviously, like the hero unlock credit amount was like way too high. There was a Redditor who did the calculations. If you only play matches, because obviously you get credits from challenge and everything, but if you only play matches, it will take 40 hours to get 60,000 credits, which is a long time for one hero. So it was justified people being upset, but I still feel bad given how much it seems like they're putting into the game and also want to keep putting into it. Like I don't want EA to be like, okay, we're not making any money or people are being too ridiculous where we're going to cut the life cycle short after, say, a year like the last game. Whereas especially from Dennis Brandval, who is one of the executive producers, he keeps saying that like they want to keep adding this game for years to come. So if this is more like a live service game, I'm all for that, and I would feel bad, even though I'm not crazy about loot crates, I would feel bad that we don't get that because people hate the system so much.
I think that they have to look, I mean, whatever the community does, they have to look towards supporting this game for longer than they did the first, because you can only come up with, if they're going to do more full-fledged, you get a campaign, we explore different time periods, there's only so much you can do before it becomes a ton of work to create new storylines and create canon, technically, you know, that you're going to want to support this game for as long as you can.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think this is the issue to fight EA on. Like, I think there's tons of other games that you could fight them on, and the way they support their services and everything, that you could be outraged about. Not this game.
Well, it's funny that the amount, I mean, you're talking about the most downvoted comment in Reddit over, obvious. I'm not saying it's not a big issue or it didn't need to be changed, but like over something that's like an unlock in a game. Yeah. Like, I guess that just goes to show like how crazy Star Wars fans are. I think, or how big Star Wars is.
I think the thing is that this game tries to be so many things. You get a single player campaign, you get a multiplayer aspect, you get progression. It's not just flat multiplayer. Like, if you think about flat multiplayer games, Overwatch or Team Fortress 2, where you're never going to be able to improve the character skills. There's no RPG element at all. So there's so much stuff built into this game that it's hard to know what you should be getting for $60. You know?
You're getting a lot.
You are, yeah. But the pricing structure becomes questioned because you've never dealt with this many things in a game before.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, too, in light of kind of what we were just talking about with... Because obviously, say, like, they do update the game and keep putting out content, it gets to a certain point where maybe loot crate sales haven't been doing that well, or for whatever reason. Like, say okay, so Battlefront 2015 lasted a year, and then they kind of fizzled out the updates, and obviously all the DLCs were done. But say this, okay, we're next November, the game is a year old. Say they do plan on updating it further, say they go another year. At that point, maybe they have, because then Episode 9 will be coming out.
Yeah.
You either think they're either going to have another game, or maybe they'll... Basically, how would you feel if they ended up making an expansion that was, say, $20 or $30 that added to Battlefront 2?
I'd be fine with it.
That was, like, say, the Episode 9, and it had, you know, X amount of characters and maps that was substantial, where it kind of warranted the extra amount of money that everyone had to pay.
I think $20... I would be fine. $30, I would sort of just say, I'll pay you $40 if you give me another single player campaign.
Right.
You know?
Like, so maybe they add that to it though, where they say it's 20, whatever the price is. It's like, they add a substantial amount to the game. Obviously, we don't know how that would work with splitting the player base, because obviously that's a problem that's been in the past. But besides that, like, I think it would be kind of part of, you know, that live service thing where they get the extra money, but we also get extra content, substantial extra content.
Yeah, I could totally see that. You know, there's plenty of things that they can market and add on to this game for money that don't necessarily fall under the quote-unquote DLC that they've promised for free. Especially as years go by. If it gets to be 3 years and they want to charge me for something, it's like, yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm still playing that game in 3 years...
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Call of Duty fan, you have to pay $60 every year.
This is the other thing that I see. The people are getting so mad about the price of these unlocks, and it's getting pay to win. It's not pay to win. It's pay to advance faster, which I'm not saying I'm for, but we see it in so many other games that it's becoming a bit normal.
Yeah.
And the thing is if you're a PC gamer that has like a $500 rig, or a console gamer, if you have the luxury of buying video games, like an extra $15 that you probably just going to spend at McDonald's anyway isn't a big deal in the long run. So
I think a lot of it is because this is EA.
Yeah,
and they're known
I don't.
for
I mean, I don't
pulling
want to be
stuff.
price gouged as much as the next guy, but there's a reasonable level you want everybody to get their fair
Yeah.
share.
And so so we're in the main discussion at this point, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll start. We can continue with loot crates. I made a sweet comment on Reddit. I'm just gonna kind of read it because my thoughts were on point.
Okay.
So I basically talk about how I have mixed feelings about the whole system, especially with the boxes and everything. So this is my thoughts. But after playing, I felt like the star cards didn't really matter. Where obviously they do because they add bonuses. But when I was playing and I was switching from class to class, I never once thought like, oh hey, it'd be really cool to unlock extra gear because you have so much already. You have like maybe the assault class isn't working, so I'm going to switch to the sniper class, the specialist. I'm going to snipe for a little bit, and you have a whole different set of abilities that do all these different things. So you kind of aren't like, okay, well I need to get to this level or I need to get this card so I can change my game style. You can already change your game style from the get-go. From the very beginning, you can do a certain role and fulfill it. And the star cards kind of just add to that a little bit. So I'm not saying 40% whatever. I know that's a star card. It doesn't matter. It does. But when I was playing, I never felt like, oh hey, I really need to get the star card that gives me this bonus because without it, I stink. So like the last game, you wanted to unlock new loadouts, whereas this one you already have them. And so I gave an example. One of the cards I do want would be ones that change the officer's ability to a squad shield, because I've talked about it before. Having a squad shield as an ability that you can choose when you want to use it is cool. I actually went against someone with a squad shield, and it was on Mos Eisley, and it was like, frick, I don't have anything to shoot them now. They're in that bubble, and I was like, man, that's a super cool a teamwork element that you just don't always think about because this game has so many things in it. You're not always going to come across that. And so when you do, you kind of have to change how you approach that situation. Let's see, what else I say. I like the way, we'll talk about this more, the weapons, they're tied to getting kills with a certain class. I like that type of progression more than obviously loot crates. But okay, so I said I'm disappointed in not having customization, even the simple stuff from last game, like different heads or alien heads. Why didn't they throw those things into the loot crates to try to get people to buy them? Personally, I would probably spend money on crates if there was a cosmetic crate that included emotes and skins and alien heads and all this stuff. I'm wondering, especially with everything that was going on in Reddit with the hero unlock costs, why didn't they make skins cost that much then? If they want people to try to buy loot crates with money to get more money, real money, then why didn't they have a team spend more time developing those skins to have for launch to give people incentive to buy the crates with more money? Because say there was all these skins, say Rey and Kylo Ren didn't have their skins tied to the pre-order and they costed 60,000 credits, or they were just random, they were an epic tier in a cosmetic crate, I'd be like, why not drop $5 to $10 and try to see if I can get one of them?
Yeah. I could see, and this is just me thinking, because I've talked about that in the past episodes about how I think there should be a cosmetic aspect to the loot crates, but I could see the potential for Disney or Lucasfilms or whatever to be a bit restrictive on, okay, no, they can't wear that. You'd have to go through a pretty rigorous process of vetting the skins as they're being made. So it's a little harder than most multiplayer games have with making skins, but I think that yeah, like you said, the skins that they already have made and approved, to have a chance to get them in the loot crate, yeah.
Yeah, no,
that would up sales and it'd be completely reasonable.
Exactly, because so I wasn't all for obviously the cost of heroes, but we asked a friend, and he was like, he kind of liked having those heroes be so expensive because that's something you really have to grind for. That's something you really work hard for, and when you finally get it, not a lot of people have it. Say, for example, you finally unlock Luke after playing for X amount of time, and you have him, and like almost no one else has him. And so when you see that character, you're like, wow, that guy really worked for it. I'm all for that. What I'm not for is having the heroes like Luke and Darth Vader be locked. Like, why not have... And these have been in the works, at least according to leakers on Reddit, that skins like Farm Boy Luke or like Bespin Luke or maybe Endor Luke, those skins are in the works for the game. Obviously, we don't see them yet, but we know they're there. We have Rey, Kylo, and then a Han Solo skin. Why aren't those skins locked behind a really tall credit wall where that's something you have to work for, especially when this game is months old or a year old? That's something you can still work towards late game, where once you finally get it, you feel a sense of accomplishment where you're like, I have this skin, not many other people have the skin because it costs so much. Like... I mean, okay, obviously they had different things to work on. Maybe they didn't have enough people or time or money or whatever. But if they wanted people to buy loot crates, why didn't they come up with a better system to sell loot crates? The way I look at it, I'm not going to buy loot crates because they just give me star cards.
Yeah, I could see
skins. Yes,
I could see just immediately like they say, we'll just implement the loot crate system right off the bat, and then we'll work on that stuff afterwards as quote-unquote free DLC.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you, I don't know, people have made up mock-ups because for the Last Jedi season it has like Phasma and this cool like all this stuff. Someone did a mock-up for season 2 and it's customization season. Mm-hmm. Which I hope it's not, because I hope we get Obi-Wan and Grievous, who we know are going to be in the game for the second season because I don't want to wait too long. But like... I could totally see them doing something like that where we have customization now, guys. We have the heads. We have the alien heads. Yeah. We have all this stuff. You know they're going to put in loot crates.
Here's our free DLC. Buy it now. Like...
Yeah. They have to. You go from having paid DLC in the last game to having free DLC, but you're either going to have to grind for it or you're going to have to buy it.
Yeah.
That's just the way games work. That's how they make money. But
but
guess what?
It's not a fully contained game. You're not buying everything. Like, in every game ever, even, like, you have to earn character unlocks. Like, that's in Tony Hawk.
But that's what makes it fun to play, though. Like,
yeah.
Having that thing to strive for or to achieve, I'm not, like I said, like, maybe Darth Vader and Luke aren't the things to make those things to achieve, but there definitely are other things that you want. So, like, having a customization in loot crates isn't a bad thing. Like, whether you... I think loot crates just gives people the bad idea, especially because it's RNG. It's random. Mm-hmm. But if you think about it, you have to grind for loot crates. You're going to have to grind for that. Like, say, like Battlefront 2015, they had some of the endgame skins that cost... You had to be, like, the max level, mm-hmm. and you had to spend credits on them. That was, like, late game stuff. But it was cool. And when you finally got it, people were like, oh, that guy, like, is crazy level. He's, like, max level already, and he spent credit...
He likes to play Star Wars Battlefront.
Right. So, like, it's pretty much the same thing with loot crates. You have to grind to buy them, but the only difference is that it's random, which stinks. But hopefully they have a percentage where if you spend the same amount of time, you'll get it by then. Maybe sooner.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just the way loot crates are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean...
I don't see. The thing is, I could see myself playing this game for the foreseeable future and not buying any loot crates.
No, if there was like hero skins, I would be buying loot crates. But there's not.
So it's not really an issue. It's not an issue for me.
Yeah,
I bought the game for $60. I didn't buy the deluxe edition because I saw no benefit to it.
Okay, the deluxe edition is stupid. I can understand people buying it. Because, okay, it's $20, not a big deal. I bought the deluxe edition for the last game.
Yeah.
But because you get
the special cover. You
get the special cover if you get it for console. And you get 3 days early. Mm-hmm. I don't blame you. I want to play right now.
It shows up in your Origin. For PC too, it shows up in your Origin inventory. It's
okay.
Do you want to pay $20 for a desktop icon?
Well, part of me did buy the deluxe edition for the last game because it had a better cover.
I got the ultimate edition, and it looks sick. Like,
Yeah. Well, granted, I was playing on PS4 back then.
Yeah.
Okay, but I forget what I was saying. But
Sorry.
no, it's okay. It'll hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So people buying the deluxe edition because you get 3 days early. I don't blame those people because I want to play right now too. It's live probably. I think it went a little bit early. But okay, so the deluxe edition also gives you a special package for every class. You get one epic card and then a weapon unlock. Which cool, but that's so much progression that's taken away already. Like,
yeah.
Obviously everyone's different, but for me, like, progression is one of the main parts of playing a multiplayer game. Like the again, we're going to talk about it. The weapon unlocks is like the best progression system this game has because the first weapon is like 50 kills, and then the second weapon is 200 kills, and then the last weapon, the third one, is 500. That takes, a decent amount of time to get to, but once you finally get to, you're like, oh, I had the final gun, this is the, best gun, or, maybe it has a...
So, does it unlock the first gun for you?
So...
Is it random, or is it...
No, it unlocks the middle one.
The middle one?
I'm pretty... Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Pretty sure. So, that's the one that takes 200 kills. And it to me,
that's a big chunk.
It takes away a lot of what you're working towards right off the bat. Like,
especially, like, a lot of people, I think, say that, like, they like to buy stuff like that. Or, buy a deluxe edition, you get all the unlocks or something, to avoid work. But that's really, like, 200 kills, like, you could probably net that in a week.
Those are the
hard, like...
Okay, those are the things that you get just by playing. You don't have to work extra hard to get. It just takes a certain amount of time, but eventually you'll get it.
Literally a consequence of playing the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the only thing is that there's still modifications for every weapon. I guess we can talk about this now.
Yeah.
There. Okay, so, if you haven't played, you probably played the beta. Regardless, there's 36 weapons in this game right now for just primary weapons, but they're split up. 24 of those you already have unlocked by default because every class has their own weapon according to authentic Star Wars, and then every faction is different. So you do the math. It's 24 weapons, and they don't get modifications, and you have them right off the bat. But then there's 3 you unlock per class, and it's the same for every faction. So that's 12 weapons you can unlock, and then there's 3 modifications per weapon. And like we've said, the increments for the kill requirement is 50, 200, and 500 kills for that class. But the mods require 50, 150, and 250 kills with that specific weapon for the 3 different mods, which is a sweet progression system. That's a timeless mechanic in games where you just get kills. I know, like, in Modern Warfare 2, you get, headshots for the different camo skins. Yeah. And that was super cool. You worked super hard for this little cool color. But everyone knew, like, oh, God, this guy has a stinking... I can't think of the weapon. The intervention.
Oh, okay.
I think it was, like, 1,000 headshots to get the last camo. But, like, you finally get it, and you're like... Everyone knows, okay, this guy's good. He spent the time. So, and obviously the modifications... improve certain aspects of the gun, so it feels good. You work hard, you get those kills, you get the modifications, you feel like you're working towards something, which is awesome. Yeah. And then the last thing I want to point out is certain weapon unlocks are they're improved versions of the default weapon. I know, for example, like the clone heavy weapon, the DC-15, I believe it's called. There's like a LE added to the end of it for like your first unlock, which is basically an improved version of that gun, which is cool because then you get to unlock modifications for it. So I think for people who want to keep the aesthetic of, okay, a clone uses this weapon, they can, but having the improved version and also getting to add mods to it. Hopefully you can only imagine they would add more weapons down the line. So hopefully they add an improved version for every gun, because right now it's only a select few. So hopefully I don't know why they didn't add it. You know what I mean? Like an improved version.
This seems like a natural thing to do.
Because they could have added 24 weapons to the game just by having like a little modified one.
Allowing you to modify your default weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what it is.
And a lot of people, I find, like, in the last game, I haven't tried every class. Well, I tried every class in the beta, but not since the launch. But in the first game, I found, like, man, I really like the DC-15 over the other options for, sometimes you just like the default weapon. It's like...
Well, so that's the other thing. We were kind of... I don't know if we were told, but, like, going into it, I had the thought that you'll be able to unlock... Because it was very similar to the last Battlefront, where, say, for example, the A2ADC was the default weapon for the Rebels, and then the E11 was for the Imperials. So you would start with those weapons, but you could also unlock them so you could use them for the other side. I was going into it thinking it would be the same thing. Like, okay, say like you really like the default Clone Blaster, and then you can unlock it for every faction. Didn't matter who you were playing, you could play that for the Assault, or whatever.
That's cool.
But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I don't know. It's a little weird. Although someone on Reddit, actually, I posted this it'll be in the link. If you're listening to the podcast, it'll be in the links at the bottom. Someone on Reddit actually listed every star card and every weapon and the stats. And so for all the default weapons, say for the Assault class, there's 6 different weapons for each faction. They all have the same exact stats. So I don't know if they. I guess they would fire the same too. Obviously, they look different. Like the Clone fires blue, Rebels fire red.
Yeah. So,
but the stats are all the same.
Is the recoil all the same then?
I would imagine.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So it doesn't change until you start unlocking the further weapons and the modifications.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, it's to keep it balanced across factions until you start unlocking weapons, but it is kind of like. It was probably a lot easier. They didn't have to worry about balancing those things.
Yeah. Because otherwise it could get to where one faction is more OP than the other faction.
Right, especially because there's 24.
Then you have to balance things all in between. That could get pretty annoying.
Let's see. Okay, so obviously we've been talking for a while now. What are some of your impressions about the gameplay though and the maps?
The maps are. It's going to take a while for me to get used to maps like this because there's so many little paths, especially in like some of like the more jungly areas. Little paths, little niches, and like I found a couple places while playing on some maps where I'm like, wow, I want to camp this spot. And it was a little confusing because you want to get back there. Like, then you die, and then you want to get back there. But the maps are so huge and, like, packed. They're, like, dense.
Yeah.
That sometimes it takes a little while. Or it's going to take a while for me to learn all of them. But I think they look great. They have a lot of intricacies, which is always nice. I was playing on Hoth, and someone came up to me on a Tauntaun. And I killed him, and then I got on the Tauntaun. I was like, what? Where did he even get this thing? They must just spawn on the map, and then you take them?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Tauntauns are the one thing that you don't spend battle points to use, like speeders or land speeders or like ATSTs, they require battle points. But Tauntauns, I think... The funny thing is I haven't played Hoth yet.
Oh, okay.
I've played for 7 hours, and I have not played Hoth. That just shows you how big the map rotation is.
Yeah.
Because you play it twice, both sides, and then you move on. So every time I quit, I join, like, I'm back in the middle somewhere. So I haven't played... Okay, so I haven't played Hoth. I haven't played Theed, thankfully, because I played in the beta, obviously. Takodana. And then... There was a fourth one I forget, but there's 4 of them. Because between Strike and then Galactic Assault, like, you go back and forth and you get thrown in the middle, and Strikes are a little bit different than the Galactic Assault ones. So, a lot of the Strikes are just, like, a small portion of the Galactic Assault ones, but there's different objectives. So it feels like there's 22 maps in the game, depending on what game mode you're playing. Like, it just, you're always doing something different, and that feels so refreshing. because then you have the different aesthetic. You're okay. One map you're on Mos Eisley and your stormtroopers and your rebels, and then you move on and you're in Camino and your clones, and it's completely different. And you're just like, this game just never gets old.
Yeah, I could see that definitely.
So it's awesome. What do you think about like the obviously we play the beta, but what do you think about more like the classes and everything? Or have you opened any loot crates?
Just I had 4 when I logged in today,
Okay.
and I think they were just from buying the game or playing the beta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a blue stealth star card for the specialist class, which is nice because I'm planning on, that's the first class I want to fill out. Just because I haven't, like, in most games, like, I haven't gone for sniper, but I don't know. It'll be fun to get good at it, you know. But yeah, I haven't bought any.
So did you play Heroes versus Villains at all?
I did not. I thought about it, but I just played today. I played Galactic Assault. We played a lot of Strike during the beta. I have not played Starfighter Assault, but I was thinking maybe I'll play some tomorrow.
I don't know if I'll ever play that game mode.
Really?
I could care less about the Starfighters.
I
know a lot of people love it.
Looks like a lot of fun to me.
But I don't know. But okay, but Heroes vs. Villains is awesome because you don't have to play as infantry. You get to respawn. You get to play as your favorite heroes. It's just,
do you have to have them unlocked to play as the one you want? Yeah. Okay. So that's
a big thing because with the hero unlock, it's not as big of a. I mean, it's still a big deal for Galactic Assault, but in Heroes vs. Villains, it's really glaring that, like, hey, all these heroes are locked and you have to pay a lot of crits to play them.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, like, if you're on the light side, you can pick, like, Rey and Yoda and, like, Han and Lando. Those are the 4.
Mm.
And then on the dark side, there's Maul, Kylo, Bosk, and Boba. But it's like, I want to see just all lightsabers.
Yeah.
So, like, Luke's not in there, Darth Vader's not in there. Palpatine doesn't have a lightsaber, but he's still really OP.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I really want to see, like, Kylo, Maul, Vader, and Palpatine, which is probably what a lot of the games will be once people unlock them. And then, hopefully, once Obi-Wan comes out, you'll have Obi-Wan, you'll have Rey, you'll have Yoda, you'll have Luke. And it'll just be like... Because you haven't played it. The opening cinematic for Heroes vs. Villains is so sick.
Okay.
Because the 4 heroes, like, come out, or villains, they come out and they line up and there's, like, music and, like, they, like, light their lightsabers. And it's, like, it just, like, sets the stage for, like, this epic, like, showdown of, like, Heroes vs. Villains. And it's probably, like, it's probably their best game mode. Like,
that'll be the mode to play when we have 6 people over here.
Yeah, definitely. Because then 4 of us can be playing it together and it'll be sick. So, the game and the gameplay is amazing. The loot crate system, less than stellar.
Yeah.
I think if you're a Star Wars fan, though, it's easily overlooked. Maybe if you're not as big on Star Wars, it's something that's really annoying. But for me, like, I bought the game. Like, I'm gonna play it. Like, I'm sorry, Reddit, that I don't hate EA as much as you guys do. I don't like EA, like, but this game is really fun.
Yeah.
It just is, like, and they're only gonna add to it. Like, how is that not exciting? That they're just gonna, they're gonna keep adding to it. You don't have to spend any more. People are still gonna play together. It's gonna be a grind, but if we're gonna be playing this game for the next year, you got time.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
I mean, for $60, it's a AAA title. There's no desync issues. There's no early access, disconnected from server all the time. Like compared to the other games that we play, especially on PC, like, this is a great game.
I think so.
You know?
I think so. So,
yeah, I'm excited. I think, thinking about it now, I'm going to play it more than I thought I would have. You know?
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's fun. I don't know. I know, like, a lot of our friends, I know, like, Connor and Spencer, they're like, I don't know, I don't want to. I mean, whatever. You don't have to play it, but, like, I don't know. Like, if you're even a little bit of a Star Wars fan, how can you not be like, okay, this game, like, seems really fun? Like, I don't know, maybe you don't want to spend the $60, but, like, what game? There's a lot of games that are $60.
I think especially with how big of Star Wars fans we all are, like, why wouldn't we play it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm probably done. I'm okay. Stop and talk about Battlefront.
Good. Because we have some news other than that.
Okay.
Not too much, but
Moving on to the news. We have a bunch of games. I've been talking a lot.
you want me to just launch this? Do you want me to talk about the Overwatch thing?
Did you hear about it?
I didn't hear about it, and I don't know who this person is, but it's an interesting topic.
It isn't. It's like I read about it and I was like very conflicted on how I felt.
It's weird because so I'll just read the sort of the little synopsis we have here. Fui 500, the number 1 ranked Torbjorn player in the world, was banned yesterday for disruptive gameplay, with many pointing to him being a one-trick pony with Torbjorn, and the gameplay was being
reported on.
Okay, the gameplay.
So like,
yeah,
he's the best Torbjorn player in the world, so he only plays Torbjorn. A lot of the one-trick ponies, they only play one character, one champion, and they don't switch off, and that's all they do. And this guy is the number 1 ranked Torbjorn, but then he got reported or whatever for maybe the composition wasn't good for Torbjorn. Maybe he was on attack.
I get the frustrating nature of it, but unless I don't know, it's like I played Team Fortress 2 for a long time, which is sort of a similar game. Not as many options for heroes. They just had like the set 6 or whatever. But unless they were in competitive, which I guess they probably were in competitive play.
It is. So
can you really call it griefing for him not adjusting his gameplay? Like, you could have adjusted gameplay too. Like, he wants to play a support.
Yeah, but like
defense.
Yeah, maybe it was attack or whatever, but maybe he's really good on Torbjorn and he makes it work and he carries or does his job and he does a lot. Like, maybe it wasn't working out and then he wouldn't switch off. I don't know the complete details of what happened.
I think the only time when it would have been acceptable for him to get banned, like, I understand he's not necessarily working with you as part of the team, but it doesn't mean I don't think that it constitutes griefing. Him not switching characters doesn't constitute griefing. What does is if he was to be rude about it in the chat, right, or start trolling, maybe he stops playing or something like that, then yeah, you could report him for AFK or...
And maybe he was. I didn't look into it too much.
I could see him getting frustrated with people not wanting to work with him, and him... Maybe he is literally only good at Torbjorn at the level that he's reached in his...
Yeah, maybe.
He can't...
He got there playing Torbjorn. Why shouldn't he continue playing it to stay there?
Like, we all have mains. We all have mains.
So the community is really divided where half of the people think that you bought the game and you should be able to play whatever hero you want because you can play whatever hero you want. It's your choice. But other people think that one-trick ponies, people only play one, especially if they're off meta. They've ruined the competitive play for everyone, and they consider it trolling.
See, and that's also difficult because without a draft system, because the game is designed around the constant ability to change hero if you need to, you can't. That's the thing, is you could change. You could change a character. I don't. If the other person doesn't want to change, you could change. So I don't really get how.
Right. So, I mean, it is kind of tough, like, if people...
That's just my...
Because, say, like, for an example, like, someone isn't a one-trick pony. They play a bunch of champions, but in this one specific game, they want to play whatever character, and someone's like, okay, you're doing bad, switch off, and you're like, no, I want to play this character.
Because I want to get better at it, or something,
or whatever. Like, how can you get banned for that? Like, maybe you're not being... you don't have good teamwork, you're not communicating very well. But it's still, like, your right to pick whatever character you want within the game. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, you have that right. If someone is giving you or flaming you because you aren't doing that well, like, well, maybe he's just not playing that well. Maybe it's not the character at all.
I think something else, like, if you look at it from other ranked competitive things, CSGO and League of Legends... If you don't want that type of experience, if you don't like the solo queue experience, because we all understand what that term means, play teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, or, duel with somebody will make you a little bit less likely to experience that.
Right. So the response from community manager Josh Engen on the forums, he responded to this issue about this player being banned. He said, "I just want to chime in and make sure that everyone knows that we're currently digging into the reports, investigating this ban, and thinking about how this type of situation affects specialized players and their teammates. We take both sides of the issue very seriously. We believe that players should be able to choose their favorite heroes, but playing as a team, which includes building an effective team composition, is a core part of the Overwatch experience. It's a delicate balance, and we're still working on getting it right. If you've been playing Blizzard games for a while, you've probably heard us use the phrase play nice, play fair. It's like a mantra around the Blizzard campus, and it's a big part of the way that we approach situations like this. People tend to focus on the playing fair part, but they forget about playing nice. Sometimes that means switching off at your teammate's request, and sometimes that means working around your teammate's specialization. Either way, Overwatch is more fun when everyone is playing nice. Thank you for your patience as we investigate this situation, and thank you for your passion and enthusiasm about Overwatch." He basically didn't solve anything.
I don't think you can in the short term unless you enact rules about switching characters
rules.
or it create some other banning mechanic like a soft ban or like Dota 2 has, like Prisoner's Island or whatever, where if you're a toxic player you get put with other toxic players.
Right.
I
like that.
I like it. And I think for a solo queue experience, it is 100% fine because there's no reason why. Let's say you are a very driven player, esports player, and you want to get picked up by a team. You could still do it at the top of Prisoner's Island charts or whatever. The team would just know what they're getting in addition to that.
Right, but so he was basically saying like to be nice, and so that means being nice means. If someone's asking you to switch off and they won't let it go, to switch off. It also means that if someone really has a specialization of that character, to be nice and say, okay, like I'll trust you that you're really good at this character.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way street there, and it kind of sounds like no one was budging in that situation with the ban.
I could see them instead of like ban, like in CSGO, ban is like a pretty hard term. There's no like temporary ban. There's competitive cooldowns. If you get VAC banned, it's because you were cheating, like 100% pretty much. So I could see them implementing something like that. Like if you had a game where not just you but multiple people got reported or something because there was big infighting or something, maybe everybody on that team gets a half hour to an hour competitive cooldown where you get to think about what happened.
Right.
Like that seems completely reasonable.
Yeah. So it's a big issue and topic, but the last thing is for Overwatch is that this coming weekend, the 17th through the 20th, I believe, the game is free, and so you can play it. But so Blizzard said that for this free weekend, we're making Overwatch's full roster of 26 heroes and 16 maps available for play in a variety of modes, including quick play, custom games, and the arcade. Now, Moira, who's on the PTR right now, who's the new champion, is the 26th character. So that leads many to believe that maybe she'll be released right before this free weekend, maybe on Thursday or Friday, maybe sometime during it. But by what Blizzard themselves say, apparently she'll be coming out soon. So that's pretty neat.
I'm excited. I do like her character design, so that'll be interesting. Not that we'll necessarily be playing any of that this weekend because of Battlefront, but
yeah. If we happen to take a break from Battlefront, it'll be for PUBG.
Yeah, so maybe in the week after to come, we'll take a look at it. All right.
Want to go over PUBG?
Yeah, sure. We had PUBG hit 2.61 million peak players on 11/11 2 days ago. Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, always on Saturday.
Yep. So broke another record. Just a little bit increase, but still up there. Hasn't died down.
Yeah.
So.
And then we have I Am Oakland PUBG Invitational. So I Am Oakland isn't just a PUBG tournament. It's CS:GO, possibly some other smaller games. I don't know. That's happening this Saturday and Sunday, 11/18, 11/19. The broadcast goes live around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 8 matches, squad, first person. 12 teams were invited, and 8 teams secured their spots through the online qualifiers for a chance to win a total prize pool of $200,000. So I sort of like the way that they're doing it. I saw an interview because looks like a couple of YouTubers are being invited and, having it paid for them to go, which I'm sort of excited about because a lot of YouTubers that are CSGO centric are being invited, which is interesting. I think it's a CSGO tournament, but like War Owl was invited, and he did a sponsored interview with one of the organizers for this tournament, and a large portion of the interview was on PUBG. I think they wanted to showcase it, and that developer or organizer was talking about the round robin or circuit nature of the PUBG competition, because it's not like you can't do standard elimination tournament, right, because then you'd have less people getting on the map each time. So they're going to do it. He likened it to Formula 1. Like, you have a bunch of races throughout the course of the season, and then the person who wins the overall, people win different races, but the person that wins the overall season has the most points through different factors through all the races. Yeah. So I think that makes an argument for PUBG being a competitive esports title.
Yeah, I think it works better that way.
Even more so, yeah, it makes sense. So, I'm excited to see the results of this.
Yeah, it says there's 8 matches, so...
Yeah. We're meeting on Friday, and then we're pretty busy Saturday.
Yeah, so we actually won't get to catch this because for Eastern time it's 4 p.m. Maybe we'll catch the very beginning. We'll be getting ready for your anniversary party though. So.
Yeah. So, but we'll probably try to take it in and then get back to you the following week.
Yeah. Hopefully we can catch maybe even the first match. It'd be cool to actually watch the competitive match of it.
Well, we'll set up a TV at my anniversary party with PUBG on
it. Megan's like, no.
So, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so this is actually today they finally gave us when the first cycle for testing will go, and actually it's already live. It was 9 p.m. Eastern, so it's around 9:20 now. And so the test servers will be up for at least a day. They said they wanted to do it longer, but I guess the test servers are really unstable right now, and they're still not 100% yet.
They said people might be experiencing disconnects,
so I think
regularly.
I think they're actually kind of like, I don't know if panicked is the right word, but they're like, we have to test this.
Yeah.
And there's still something wrong with the test build of the game.
Yeah.
And so the patch notes is really long. I'm gonna put it in the notes for the show as a link, but they're so long we're actually gonna save that for another episode where we're gonna do an advanced tips for PUBG, because we did the beginner tips, and we're gonna do advanced because now we both won a game. So now we can say, okay,
this is how you do it.
This is how you do it. So and I would imagine by the time we do that episode, there may be even a second patch. So you can check it out. It's on the community on Steam, the community update. So if you want to go there, you can check out the full list. They're vaulting, the ballistic overhaul, which is kind of a little bit in depth. So you might want to check that out if you want to check that
out. Yeah. Do you want me to do CS:GO?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So CS:GO, just a couple quick things. It's interesting that usually I don't think we usually get this many patches from CS:GO week to week. They've just been tweaking Dust 2 consistently. I think this week we got different penetration levels for some of the wooden doors and wooden boxes. They turned down the luminescence on all of the Kashba fabrics by 20% or something. They're just really trying to dial, because Dust 2 is one of the most beloved multiplayer maps of all time. They want it to be perfect. So we got a bunch of changes on that. They simplified the HRTF and occlusion audio options into one option. Basically, you just turn on or off advanced 3D audio processing. So it just makes it simpler. If you don't have any problems with that running on your computer, some people are running into audio issues when they try to use those options. Turn it off, and if not, run it. Makes it a little less confusing for people. And then they also added a console command. I don't know that we have an in menu or like if you tab right click on somebody's name, but we have a command for per player voice volume adjustment, which is, I mean, so if somebody's like a screecher but you still want to hear them, like, that's nice. And then yeah, that's it. CS:GO is pretty stagnant, but we will be looking into. I might try to keep track of the IEM Oakland results. And as always, we have the major coming up in January, so I'm sure we will stay. We don't cover CS:GO that much, but it is interesting. I'm going to try to do it a little bit more as we get more updates. Do you want me to do ARC too?
Yeah, to go ahead and
okay.
do ARC.
So with ARC this week, we had another mysterious mysteries reveal. Megan's pulling it up, and I probably won't be able to pull it up before it comes up on our screen. But in the URL, we can see it's called Large Dossier Cave Crab Torn. Well, torn is because it's always torn up in the mysterious mysteries. So it was interesting because I was looking at it, and it doesn't look like a crab. It looks like a spider.
I was thinking it looks like a spider.
But I think it's like, you can see like this little antenna it has here. Yeah, you got it there. That looks like a scorpion. Doesn't that look like a scorpion's tail? Coming over to stab?
Because, like, what else would it be?
Yeah. So, but it's called a cave crab.
Definitely.
But most of Aberration is caves, so I don't know if this is in special caves.
Maybe it's like a mix between a crab, a spider, and a scorpion.
Yeah, could be. Or it could be like which they all sort of are. Like, anything on Aberration is like a messed up version of what you were to find on the island or something.
Right.
So getting another insect, interesting. It'll be interesting to see where it falls on the kibble tree, because scorpions have been. I mean, you get scorpion eggs for Rexes, which, I mean, so that's like a solid. We need scorpions. Scorpions are one of Cooper's favorite tames for some reason. But yeah, so we got that to look forward to. I am excited for Aberration coming out, and it has been promised before the end of the year. Was also released in this like community digest.
Yeah,
which is cool. I mean, it was promised in October, but
right.
I'll take it before the end of the year.
So it sounds kind of like PUBG.
Yeah.
So
I think they'll make it. I know they're working hard on it. It's whatever. I mean, I'm not playing Ark right now. I'm playing Kingdom Hearts, so I'm not too concerned. And then they had the Xbox One X release with enhanced graphics. So they have HDR, whatever True Sky is, and enhanced details, and so a lot of different little options. So that's neat. They had some other updates in the community crunch, like they're working on the crossplay between Xbox and Windows 10. They're working on it soon. And then I think Xbox rentable servers were released through Nitrado, and you can download legacy PvE servers that were essentially turned off at launch. You can download your old saves and play them on a hosted server.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we have for this episode. Okay, so we have a poll this week that we want to ask.
Yeah, we didn't do one last week, but we're gonna do it this week.
Yeah. So, but we do want we're gonna do it every week. Actually, I don't know. I didn't even run the name by you, but we're gonna call it One Up. One Up.
What's One Up?
One Up is gonna be, as long as Elias is okay with it. We forgot to confirm it.
I'm fine.
Where, like last week, you can send in any questions, any experiences to either our Gmail at respawn.mondays at Gmail or our Twitter. Any questions or whatever, we're just going to do this in a little section called One Up because it kind of fits with the theme of our show. And so I'll do that next. But so the poll for this week is very simple. It's are you going to be playing Battlefront 2 this weekend? And so it's going to be yes or no, and go on our Twitter at Respawn Mondays to answer that, and we'll be given the results at when we'll be doing the episode Friday when we have the party. So
yeah,
it'll be cool to see how many people are going to be playing too.
Yeah.
So for the One Up section, we have a Higgsy who's in the chat right now. So hopefully he's listening and paying attention. His question was, do you think this Battlefront will die off like the last one did? So I don't know about you, but my thoughts were, I'm assuming he's referring to PC because on console it didn't really die off. Like you could still find matches fairly easily, especially on PS4. So for PC gamers are very tricky. I'm gonna say yes and no. I think it's gonna last longer than the first game, but I don't know. I have high hopes for it actually because with the limited game modes keeping people together and DLC not splitting people, I think it will be a lot easier to find matches moving forward in lobbies. So and then with the way the seasons are working and the constant constant content updates, I think this game will last. I think it'll last a lot longer than the last game, and I think it will just with the amount of content they have and how fun the gameplay is. I couldn't see people not wanting to play this game, especially Star Wars fans.
I think if we take the this game outside of the context of just multiplayer games, I don't know. See, when I think about PC multiplayer games, I think about League of Legends and World of Warcraft, which, I mean, these games have been running 5, 10, 15 years. Battlefront 2 is not going to last that long. Will it have nostalgia players? For sure, just like the old Battlefront 2 did. But is it going to last longer than most console multiplayer games? Heck yes. Yeah, I think it's going to last 2+ years. Especially with the consistent releases we're getting from the Star Wars cinematic universe.
Yeah.
We have episode 8 coming out very soon. Han Solo film is finished shooting.
Yep, it'll be out in May.
Yeah.
So I would imagine people, after they see the movie, they'll want even more content for maybe that movie even.
Yeah, they might include some skins or something, but I doubt anything.
And who knows? Maybe even if they showcase a new planet, people will be like, "Oh, that planet looks really cool. We want to see that.
We
in the
want
game."
a map or something. Yeah,
yeah, maybe
could be. And then episode 9, and then I heard a snippet of this in a video that there's an episode 10 is confirmed or something.
No, okay, so if you haven't heard, there's a brand new Star Wars trilogy that's
so I heard that, and I heard an episode 10.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard it at the tail end of a video, and I'm like, where did anyone hear that? I watch plenty of Star Wars channels. I haven't heard... Oh, okay, so I heard someone talking out there, but...
I mean, I haven't heard anything of it.
Yeah, but I heard about
I kind of hope not. I hope they end with 9, and they're like, okay, we're done with that.
Mm.
At least for now, maybe for the next 30 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Skywalker saga has been told.
At least 10, it's like, yeah. I think the Skywalker saga should end because it's really only brought heartache to everyone.
So Matt in the chat says there's a new trilogy. Ryan Johnson, who's directing 8, he's going to be heading at least the first one for the brand new trilogy. Who has nothing to do with Skywalkers. It's going to be brand new. And then there's actually going to be a live TV show that's supposed to come out 2019, I think, has been confirmed. So that's pretty exciting for Star Wars fans.
I just saw someone post earlier, like an hour or two before the show, that Amazon has the rights to Lord of the Rings, and they're gonna make a TV show.
Really?
Which I heard somebody said like, oh, like this is gonna be so sick, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't think so.
If it's low budget, definitely not.
Yeah, like I don't think.
Although it's Amazon.
I know, like there are some stories that can be told in a serialized manner, but not most of them.
Yeah.
Not most of Tolkien's works.
But all right, it's about done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're on Twitch at Respawn Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern on every Monday. You can find us on Twitter at Respawn Mondays. You can find our archive of VODs on YouTube at Respawn Mondays. You can find me personally at NikkiGirl7 on Twitter. And then my Twitch is NikkiGirl007. What about you, Elias?
Okay, you can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Tolmaeith. TOLMAEITH.
Awesome. And then last thing before we go, please, if you have a spare minute, leave us a review on iTunes. Give us some feedback on the show. Reviews help us greatly, and it'd be nice to hear some feedback from the people who listen to our show. So we know you're out there, and if you can, please take a minute to give us a review. So, all right, guys. I've been Nick Berry.
I'm Elias Christensen.
And thanks for respawning with us.
We'll see you next week.